you're thinking about getting a mobile phone gimbal but stuck on which one to choose for, go no further, because the DJI OM4 could still be the best choice for 2022 and beyond. Greetings all, and I know this is not really photography related as such, but I really wanted to do this review because I have been asked about the gimbal that I use in my videos. I thought, well, I'm going to do this because I know that there are quite a few of you who watch this channel as well, and you're actually into vlogging, so hopefully this is going to help. So what do you expect from this review? Pros, cons, why I think this is better than the newer OM5, who is this for, and is this still a good choice for 2022 and beyond? But one other question, do we actually need one? But what is a gimbal anyway? Well, a gimbal actually is an image stabilization device, which basically will keep your device, which is obviously your mobile phone in this case, stable at all times, no matter where you actually move it. Okay, we're going to start off with the price, and these have actually dropped down considerably since the OM5 actually has come out. These you can pick up now for around about £89, and the OM5s, which are obviously the later ones, which are £139. So this is already onto a good start on price wise. Okay, the key features of this one is the magnetic design for the phone holder, which it's just so simple to use. It is brilliant. The OM4 comes with Active Track version 3, which is brilliant at tracking moving objects, people, animals. It is really, really good. A lot better than the previous OM3. It's got a 15-hour battery life, which is more than enough for a day's shooting. Now I know that some people are sort of thinking, well, that's not quite a day really, is it? No, but you're not going to be shooting for 24 hours straight. Compared to the OM3, the OM4 has more powerful motors on them. It's portable and foldable. As you can see, it really does go down to pretty much nothing at all. And one of the key features on this that I really like is the clone me function of the app itself. Try that one again. Which is rather fun. Okay, so the pros. It's not actually that expensive at the moment. £89 is an absolute steal. 15 hours of battery, as I've said earlier. You have a USB-C charge port, a USB-A socket, which is on the side here, which you can then plug into your mobile phone or another device, and you can charge it directly from the gimbal. It's light at 390 grams, an easy to navigate menu system without even having to touch the screen. You can do it all from the little joystick. Built-in calibration, which takes only a few seconds to do. And you can actually do small minor adjustments yourself should you think the calibration's not correct. Okay, onto the cons. Now, I know I've been raving a little bit actually about the magnetic design because it's absolutely brilliant, but there is one actual flaw with the magnetic clamp. Is if you have a phone with a case, if the case is too bulky, the clamp doesn't actually fit very well. I don't know whether you can actually see there, but it's not quite gripping around the case. So if you've got a nice big bulky case, then I'm afraid you're going to have to take either your phone out of it, or this does actually come with a little disc that you can stick onto the back of your case. But that is slightly flawed, as well as that it doesn't really stick very well to certain types of cases. I actually just end up taking my phone out of the case. The actual phone that I do actually use on this gimbal is actually the one I'm recording with now, which has a slightly smaller case, and it does fit very, very well. But it is something to take note of when actually purchasing this, is that big phone cases are a big no-no. The tripod itself actually feels rather cheap, which, considering the rest of the unit itself feels pretty solid. I don't know, this just feels a little bit clicky, and yeah, I think it could have done with being a little bit stronger, especially when you're using it to hold. I don't know, it feels like it's going to be okay, but it doesn't fill me with much confidence. And one of the things as well is the base of the gimbal itself isn't exactly flat. So as a lot of the gimbals, people can just actually put them down without the tripod. This one you actually can't. And not only that, is I do have a bracket that I actually fit onto the bottom, and then put other attachments like a microphone and a light onto it. But because of the angle of the bottom, it points in the wrong direction, and it just gets in the way and is rather annoying. So if you do get one of these, you can get the bracket which will clamp around the handle for you to put this. I think they're a lot better than the bracket that would fit on the bottom. Not all your phone's video options are available within the Mimo app itself. For example, in your normal phone's app, if you can say shoot at 4K 60 frames per second, you might find in the Mimo app that you can only shoot at 4K 30 frames per second. It's just something to look out for, and hopefully that they will sort of fix that in future updates of the app. Which also brings me on to another con that is not really a con as such, but something that I think that a lot of people don't really like doing. And that is that the app itself that you need for the phone is you can only download it from the DJI's website itself. It's not available on the actual Play or the iPhone's app store. I don't know why that it was removed, and some people sort of think that maybe it's because of dodgy things that they may be doing within the app itself, but I can assure you it's not for that reasons. It's for reasons that they would just want to do it on their own and host it on their own website, which there are a few manufacturers that do this, but I'm going to say that I think that it's a manufacturer that you can trust. It's not like some cheap imports where I would be very careful of the apps that you're going to install. Okay, so what do I like the most? Well, I like it when people subscribe, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So if you like the video, don't forget a thumbs up as well. It really helps, and I really do like that. But if we're talking about the things that I like the most about the gimbal, well, it's the active track. It is so clever, it is unbelievable, and it's smooth in its operation. It very rarely loses track of the subject. It's actually what makes working with a gimbal so much easier. And I'm going to be honest, there are times when I should use it and I don't, and then after I've recorded I realised I should have done. I should use it more, and when I do, I really like it. The hyperlapse is absolutely brilliant, and it's a feature of the Mimo app that goes one step further than what your phone's native app is capable of doing, and I'll explain the reasons why. So on your normal phone's capabilities of doing time-lapse and hyperlapse is your phone is stationary when it's doing the time-lapse, but the Mimo app is capable of controlling the gimbal as well. So this means you can set certain start and end points, and during the hyperlapse the gimbal will also move. So when you come to play back the video, the effect is absolutely stunning. It's actually designed really for families, somebody who wants to create stable videos of their families and whatever for YouTube or Facebook or whatever. But the thing is the capabilities of the mobile phone gimbals have actually gone a step further, because there are a lot of YouTube creators that actually use mobile phones as their recording devices. And the thing is, this just helps and takes your creativity that one step further. And I'm going to admit, is not all of the videoing I use this. I've got a few different devices around I do for different things depending on where I am and what I'm doing. But this is one part of my pieces of equipment that, now I have it, I can't really do without it. So also, if you're a vlogger, this thing can help you create some brilliant, stunning B-roll, and it does it with ease. And because of it's so small and compact, you're not really going to notice carrying this extra little piece of equipment around with you, and it fits in your camera bag or pocket even, I suppose. You could probably get it in your pocket with ease. So, is this worth it in 2022? Well, yes, I think the OM4 is still worth it in 2022, and I still reckon within a few years to come as well. And so for the price, I think it's a no-brainer, really. And in my opinion as well, I think the specs of this are a lot better than the OM5. Better battery life. I do. I just don't see why anybody who's got an OM4 would want to upgrade to the OM5. Other than the fact that the OM5 has got an extendable handle. That's the only part really and that's not really any reason to want to upgrade. So do you actually need a mobile gimbal? Well, the thing is, this is all going to depend on you and what you want to create. I mean, if you're just going to be sitting at home like this talking and it's not going to be moving or do anything, then no, you're not really going to need one. But if you're actually going to be out and about, walking, moving, and want to create B-roll, nice B-roll footage, then yes, it is definitely something that I would highly recommend getting. But don't expect Hollywood quality dolly effects or anything like this, because I'm going to admit that one massive flaw of this Mimo app that I just would say don't ever use, and that is the Dynazoom feature, because it's digitally enhanced and it just looks. But as recommending the OM4, I would highly recommend the OM4, basically because of a few things that I think are a little added extra, like the ability to charge your phone via the gimbal itself, the fact that the snap-on mobile phone clamp, it's just brilliant. So conclusion is, it's small, it's relatively cheap, it's easy to use, powerful motors, a long battery life. What more do you actually want from a mobile phone gimbal? So remember, using a gimbal it's another learning curve. When you're trying to do certain things with it and it doesn't do it, that's because it's not meant to, because they are image stabilization. They are there to create B-roll in a professional or in a more professional way. So if you're ever using one, you think, why isn't it doing this? That's because it wasn't meant to. And when you get out of that mindset of it not doing what, and you start doing what it was meant to be for, that is when you'll learn a lot more with the mobile gimbals. So that's the end of this one. I hope that what I've gone over with this gimbal, because it's shorter than I wanted to do it, because I didn't want to do a massive full-on video on this one, because I didn't see the point, because it's such a great piece of kit. But do you have a mobile gimbal? If so, are you going to upgrade it? Or are you looking at buying your first mobile gimbal? Let me know in that comments section. And I also want to know if you've bought a cheap mobile gimbal, and was it any good? Or was it just a pile of... Thanks for watching this one, guys. I hope you find it useful, and normal photography service will resume. But until the next time, thanks for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon.